So I think 550 calls too expensive.
Could you look at run, please?
Sure. Run also had that, reversal, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So you can see this reversal right here. But I think this is just a fake out. But, it's like what I like to do is trade against something. So if I want to go short, I want to see something like this so that I can understand my risk. Whereas if I short it here, it's like very difficult to understand how far this could run up before it, peters out. So, in a day like today, probably just better to just let it run its course. Or what I do is I'll watch it and I'll go, okay, so if things start running up, no pun intended, and then it starts coming back through unchanged, right? So it goes up and then turns around. And then if it, does kind of this loop where, then you might say, okay, this is a key reversal. It's going up. It's returning back to unchanged. I'll short it there with just the view to put my, stop loss above that high.
What's the sensible target to start taking some money off the table with Zoom, Mark? Jonathan Dodwell.
I think, if it breaks, it's going back to the beginning of this ascending, broadening price pattern. I think it goes back to the 300.
Murray says, stay short ARC. All my trades here are options as can't short stocks. So there are more scary puts.
It's just everything's a question of timing. I think ARC is going down. It can hang out. That's the problem. And with options, every minute it hangs out and doesn't go somewhere, your options just erode very quickly.
Kerry said, should we get out of our UPST?
Now you're getting that UPST at the bottom again. So I said I would give it, till hourly low. And man, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the half-hour low. So I've got my stop at 113.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm probably going to put it there. I'm going to wait a half hour and, and put it there. Yeah. So Murray says, out of the money call Netflix would be a pure bet, but may pay 3-1 or more. Yeah, so Netflix calls are very expensive. So Murray, you're buying the 550s for $6, which means it's got to go to 556 for you to break even. And then for you to make, 3 times your money, it's got to go to 18. So it's got to go to 568. So I try and draw scenarios that, even if, let's say, this thing closed higher, it probably wouldn't go meaningfully above. So let's say it went like this. It probably looked like that. Right. So those 550 calls at $6, you'd have to get the price would have to be 556. And then if you were going to make 3 times that, now it would have to be a 570. And so could you see this bar kind of coming from here all the way to there this week? So I think 550 calls too expensive. Now what you could do is, buy like a 520, 530 or something like that, and then sell like a 590 call and, do a kind of a spread like that. One says, how far should we expect Peloton to go? So to my mind, a lot further. So that's kind of the governing pattern all the way up there. And then this whole thing is starting to look like, these are shoulders. And if that's the case, then I think the neckline is all the way back here, $92. And if that's the case, then, I just feel like this thing has a lot of room to go lower. Zinkan says, I'm shorting CMG. Yeah, not quite sure if I would fight this trend. Yeah, I would not fight this trend. I know CMG is also announcing earnings tonight. We could look at this and see this is a double bottom, but I would not fight this. So I try and find things that, get into sync with the market. I will always look for patterns that emerge. This could be a double top up here, but it's not well enough formed for me to think that. Daniel says ZM limit short at 355. Yeah, limits are tricky. I don't really like limits. That's why I don't do them. Short, kind of if this thing rises now, if this went to 355, a hair above where I wouldn't want to just arbitrarily short that. I'd rather wait to see how this thing closes today. You might have to miss something, but then you know your risk. So putting a limit there, if it went there, it probably would go higher. So I don't think I would do that play. Valentina says, I'm short YY. So Valentina, you've had some pretty good trades. Yeah, I like this chart. I've been looking at it. This is, Valentina is getting in sync with the trade. And you can see it's got just small little inside bar. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing closes. I've been looking at this chart too. It's a good catch, Valentina. So it's got a beautiful, head and shoulders. And you can see this trend is a one-way freight train. The problem is there's been just no release. It's gone from 148 to 58 with no release. And it kind of looks like it will keep going that way. But it's just like, how do you measure your risk reward here? So there's a couple bars up here that I don't think it's going to get over this reversal at 72 and 74. I would love to see some kind of release rally here, Valentina, but it doesn't look like it's going to get it. And now you're into kind of these trickier areas at 52 is probably the next area where it's going to get. But this thing, is just straight down. Yeah, Daniel, I don't think even if YY had an inside day bar that that this thing's in any danger of turning higher. Yeah, no, I would not buy this thing. So you can see, 45, it's 1.3 million.
$1.3 million short.
So popped out a profit for 118,000 there. So you can see how this is going crazy now. You can see how the market just going nuts. I bet like $1.6 million on this position. I'm showing right now $23,000 gain.